You've got to be kidding me. WWE just pulled off the most disrespectful, most insulting move in wrestling history, and if you're not furious right now, you haven't been paying attention. Brock Lesnar just revealed who that mystery man was on Raw, and the WWE universe is about to explode. They think we're stupid. They think we'll just sit here and accept this like mindless sheep, but I'm telling you right now, this is the biggest slap in the face WWE has given us in years. Before we get into this absolute chaos, I need you to do something for me. If you're as angry as I am about what WWE just did, smash that like button, share this video with every wrestling fan you know, and drop a comment telling me if you think WWE has lost their minds. Because what I'm about to reveal will make your blood boil. Alright, let's get into this disaster. So, Survivor Series just wrapped up, right? And we all saw that mysterious figure lurking in the shadows during the main event. The speculation has been insane. Was it Goldberg? Was it The Undertaker coming back for one more run? Was it Centimeter Punk finally making his WWE return? The internet has been going absolutely nuclear with theories, and every single wrestling journalist, every podcaster, every so-called insider has been throwing out names like they actually know something. But here's where it gets infuriating. Brock Lesnar shows up on Raw, and he's got that smirk on his face. You know the one. That smirk that says he knows something we don't. Paul Heyman is right there beside him, mic in hand, doing what he does best, building up the suspense, and the crowd is going wild. They are chanting, they are speculating, and then Brock grabs the mic himself. Now, when Brock Lesnar grabs a microphone, you know something big is about to go down because the beast incarnate doesn't waste words. And what does he say? What does the most dominant force in WWE history reveal to us? He tells us that the mystery man, the person everyone's been losing sleep over, the person who could change the entire landscape of WWE, is someone we've never heard of, a complete nobody from their developmental system. Can you believe that? Can you actually believe that WWE hyped this up for weeks, had us all on the edge of our seats, had social media in absolute meltdown mode, and it's some rookie we've never even seen before? But wait, it gets worse. Brock then introduces this guy, and I'm not even going to dignify him by using his name yet because he doesn't deserve the recognition until he earns it. This mystery man walks out, and the crowd is silent. Dead silent. You could hear a pin drop in that arena because everyone is thinking the same thing. Are you serious right now? Now, here's a question for you, and I need you to answer this in the comments. Do you think WWE is intentionally trying to make us angry, or are they really this out of touch with what the fans want? Drop your answer below because I'm genuinely curious if I'm the only one who feels completely disrespected right now. Let me paint you a picture of what happened next. This mystery man gets in the ring with Brock, and Heyman starts cutting a promo about how this young superstar is the future of WWE, how he's been handpicked by Brock Lesnar himself to carry on his legacy, and how he's going to dominate WWE for the next decade. The absolute audacity of that statement. You're telling me that this guy, who looks like he just graduated high school, is going to be the next Brock Lesnar, the next beast incarnate, the next guy who's going to suplex the entire roster into oblivion? And here's what makes this even more insulting. Do you remember when AJ Styles debuted in WWE at the Royal Rumble? Do you remember the roar from the crowd? Do you remember when Edge returned after 9 years? The place nearly exploded. That's how you do a surprise reveal. That's how you give the fans what they want. But instead, WWE gives us some developmental guy who hasn't even had a proper match on NXT television, and we're supposed to just accept it? But let's talk about why WWE might have done this, because there's actually some method to this madness, even though it's completely misguided. WWE has been obsessed with creating their own stars from scratch. They don't want to rely on indie darlings anymore. They don't want to bring in established names from other promotions. They want to be able to point to someone and say, we made this guy. We built him from the ground up. And I get that. I understand the logic. But you know what? The fans don't care about your corporate strategy. The fans care about entertainment. The fans care about compelling storylines and characters they can invest in. This mystery guy, let's call him the Prodigy since that's apparently what they are going with, is supposedly some kind of athletic freak. He's got the size, he's got the look, and according to the Performance Center coaches, he's got all the tools to be a superstar. But here's the problem, we don't know him. We have no emotional connection to this person. There's no history, no struggle, no journey that we've witnessed. He's just suddenly here, being shoved down our throats as the next big thing because Brock Lesnar says so. And speaking of Brock, let's talk about his role in all this. Brock Lesnar is a legend. There's no denying that. He's a box office attraction, a legitimate fighter, and one of the most dominant forces WWE has ever seen. But is Brock really the right person to be mentoring someone? Brock shows up, gets paid, destroys everyone, and leaves. That's been his pattern for years. So why should we believe that he's suddenly invested in building up the next generation? Here's another question for the comments, and this one's important. Who do you think should have been the mystery man? Give me your dream reveal. Was it Goldberg? Was it a returning superstar? Was it someone from AEW making the jump? I want to hear your fantasy booking because it's got to be better than what we got. Now, let's get to the really juicy part of this whole situation. The backstage reaction. According to multiple sources, and take this with a grain of salt because wrestling journalism is about as reliable as a politician's promise, but according to multiple sources, some of the veteran wrestlers backstage are furious about this. You've got guys who've been grinding for years, working the independent circuit, paying their dues, perfecting their craft, and then some rookie gets fast-tracked to the main event because he's got Brock Lesnar's endorsement? That's not going to sit well with anyone. Can you imagine being someone like Chad Gable, who's been absolutely killing it lately with his technical wrestling and character work, and then watching this unknown kid get the Brock Lesnar rub on Raw? Or what about someone like Karrion Kross, who's been rebuilt and is finally gaining momentum? How do you think they feel watching this happen? And here's where the story gets even more complicated. There are rumors, unconfirmed rumors, but rumors nonetheless, that this wasn't even the original plan. Apparently, WWE had a completely different person lined up to be the mystery man, but something fell through at the last minute. Could it have been contract negotiations? Could it have been a failed medical evaluation? Could it have been creative differences? We don't know. But if that's true, it means WWE scrambled and threw this prodigy character out there as a last-minute replacement, which would explain why it feels so underwhelming. The internet wrestling community has been tearing WWE apart over this decision. Twitter is on fire, Reddit is in complete meltdown mode, and every wrestling forum you can think of is debating whether this is the worst reveal in WWE history. Some people are comparing it to the GTV storyline that never paid off. Others are bringing up the anonymous Raw general manager debacle. This is the kind of decision that gets brought up for years as an example of WWE dropping the ball. But you know what? Let me play devil's advocate for just a moment. What if WWE knows exactly what they are doing? What if this is all part of a bigger plan? What if they want us to be angry? What if they want us to reject this prodigy character so that he can turn heel and have Brock Lesnar backing him up as a cocky, entitled rookie who thinks he's better than everyone because he's got the Beast's endorsement? That could actually work. That could be a compelling storyline if they lean into the heat and don't try to force this guy as a babyface. Think about it. The fans are already booing this guy. The roster is already resentful. What if WWE builds a storyline around that? What if some mid-card wrestler steps up and says, "I'm not going to let this kid steal my spot," and we get a David versus Goliath story? That could be money. But here's the thing, I have zero faith that WWE will actually follow through with that kind of long-term storytelling because they've burned us too many times before. Quick question for the comments, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much faith do you have in WWE to turn this storyline around and make it work? Be honest, I want to see those numbers. Let's talk about what happens next. According to the Raw preview for next week, the Prodigy is scheduled to have his first official match against a top WWE superstar. Now, who could that be? Is it going to be someone like Seth Rollins who can carry him to a decent match? Is it going to be Cody Rhodes who can make anyone look like $1 million? Or is WWE going to throw him into the deep end with someone like Gunther who's going to expose him if he's not ready? The next few weeks are critical for this storyline. If the Prodigy comes out and has an absolute banger of a match, if he shows that he's got the goods and can hang with the top guys, then maybe WWE can salvage this disaster. But if he goes out there and looks green, if he botches moves, if he can't connect with the crowd, then this whole thing is going to be remembered as one of the biggest misfires in recent WWE history. And let's not forget about Brock Lesnar's role in all of this moving forward. Is Brock going to be at ringside for every match? Is he going to be actively involved in the Prodigy's development, or is this just going to be like every other Brock Lesnar storyline where he shows up every few weeks, does his thing, and disappears? Because if Brock's not invested, if he's not consistently on television building this guy up, then what's even the point? Here's the reality of the situation. WWE took one of the biggest opportunities they've had in years to create a viral moment, to give the fans something to talk about, to generate mainstream attention, and they blew it. They had the wrestling world in the palm of their hand, and they fumbled the bag spectacularly. This should have been a moment that trended worldwide, that had casual fans tuning back in to see what happens next, but instead, it's become a punchline. So what's your take on all of this? Are you as furious as I am? Do you think WWE can turn this around? Or are you actually intrigued by the prodigy and want to see where this goes? Drop your comments below, smash that like button if you're as passionate about wrestling as I am, and make sure you're subscribed to Wrestling Zone 1 because we're going to be following this story every single step of the way. The wrestling business is supposed to be about creating moments. It's supposed to be about giving the fans what they want while also surprising them. It's supposed to be about building stars that people care about. And right now, in this moment, WWE has failed on all fronts. But maybe, just maybe, they can turn this ship around. We'll have to wait and see. The ball is in WWE.